What is poppin', homies and honeys? You're back making a little video about the playtest for ChronoOdyssey. Now I'm freestyling here and I haven't made a video in a minute, but or as that said, I do have some thoughts on the game, what I got to play in the playtest over the weekend. Today is Tuesday. Pretty sure it is June 24th. And I am recording this a little bit after the playtest is ended. I had some time to gather my thoughts and stuff like that and think about what I thought of the game, what I think about it. So we're gonna get into it. So this video, this is a video we got here. This is from the last day of the test. It's like the last 3 hours that I played of the game. Just recording me running around, gathering, doing stuff, finishing quests, whatever. Just gameplay. This is just the start screen because I haven't actually got into the game yet. We'll be skipping through this video as we talk about some of the things in the game. So let's go ahead and just skip through. Okay, we already got there. Let's see when I'm actually gonna start playing the game. So that's a thing. So anyway, ChronoOdyssey playtest 1. Now I hear that, you know, the developers or the, you know, the CEO of the company, whatever, has come out and said, yeah, the build that they got for the devs is way better than this, or has been enhanced, is they're on a better version. This is an older build, it was more stable, blah 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 blah. There'll be some more tests on the game, etc. Okay. So let's see. I'm just gonna slip. Okay, there. I'm trying to let y'all see my character. So that's my character. I made it to level like 16, 17. He is like, okay, that's my character. There it is. So let the game get in there like swimwear and we'll start talking, because I think it's something that we need to discuss first and foremost. Is this game is like New World. So you don't like New World, this game might not be for you, right? I believe that this game they either just looked at New World and was like, yep, we're gonna do exactly what they're doing, and they were heavily inspired by New World. A lot of the systems in the game, the menus, the gathering system, the crafting system is just like New World. Now, is PvP just like New World? No, I don't think this game has a PvP focus like New World did. Maybe they had plans for that, I don't know. But as far as this play test, I'm not calling it a beta, I'm calling it a play test. Heavily inspired by New World, and I do not think that's a bad thing. I personally liked what New World had. New World's potential was very high. They squabbled it. They dropped the ball with New World. They put the game out too fast. The game needed to be in the oven longer. And I feel the same way about this game. Okay? So anyway, let's talk about some of the things that need to be adjusted or looked at in this game. First of all, the lighting system in this game is straight up garbage. They need to fix the lighting, because the one thing about this game that I really like is like the art style and the art direction, but I feel like the lighting system is ruining it, because it be flickering, it be flashing, it changes how your character looks, right? How your character looks, how the environment looks. You know, it's just bad, needs to be fixed. Should be a priority, because I feel like it ruins the game. Outside of that, I had a lot of fun playing the game. Like, for what playtest was, I see the potential for the game. The potential is very high if they can solve a lot of the issues that this playtest was having. And that lighting is definitely one of them. Big lighting. Alright. Second of all is, of course, this game was on PC. And I'm sure a lot of people was getting horrible frames. FPS, right? Optimization is a must. Okay? Especially if they talk about they want to release this game on consoles. You need to optimize the hell out of this game. Because we know Unreal Engine 5 shenanigans. A lot of people say it runs bad. You know, or, you know, it runs even worse on console. Stuff like that. So optimization is the second thing I would say this game definitely needs. Next is going to be, for me, is some combat aspects of the game. Hitboxes, hit detection, iframes. Because this game is an MMO, people are going to be playing it from around the world. People have different internet speeds, different pings, and different PCs, right? Not everybody can, you know, run this game. Now, I'm playing the game at high settings. I chose to play at high because I wanted frame rate. You see, I'm at 60 frames. But this is in high settings with a horrible light system and not good optimization, right? So, on mine, I got a 4070 Ti Super in my PC. But, you know, people probably don't have those. You know, a lot of people might not have that powerful of a GPU. Probably DLSS and stuff like that needs to be in the game. There was no options for adjusting. There was no DLSS. There's no there was an option for VSync, but you couldn't turn it on or off. So I don't know what it was on by default. Maybe it was off. There's a lot of pop-in, you know, and things like that. So, next, player movement and inertia. That was definitely something that felt weird. Now, I had a homie that I link up in this video. We do a little bit of content together. He was the only one of my other homies that played this test, as far as I know. And most of the people I play games with, they're mouse and keyboard warriors, right? In most games. When my homie said that he felt like the controls for mouse and keyboard were garbage and he switched to controller, it kind of was, I was like, wow. You know, this is somebody that, you know, he usually always plays with mouse and keyboard. So when he told me he moved to controller because he said it felt better than keyboard and mouse to him, I was very surprised. Now, me personally, every game that comes out, MMOs, whatever it is, if it has controller support, I will try the controller support and play with controller if the controller support is good. This game, I feel like the controller support is really good to me, right? It felt good. I didn't have issues with it. I never really had to switch to mouse and keyboard for no reason, right? So that was but the movement is definitely weird. Your characters move weird and stuff like that. So that definitely needs some adjustment when it comes to movement, inertia, animations, and stuff like that. Definitely needs some improvements. Now, next, quest design and explanations and player friendliness to help players that might not understand MMOs like me. Now, I gotta let this cat out. Hold on. Alright, so there is some quest issues, right, when you play the game. Like, they have this system in the game where they show you this beam of light that, like, kind of guides you to certain spots, but they don't use it very often. It was only in, like, the very beginning of the game that I remember seeing the beam of light. They need to use that more. Basically, use that for every quest that is the main quest or the priority quest that you have pinned up there. Number 1 for me says Pedalin's Demise. That quest should have the beam pointing you to wherever you need to go from wherever you're at, right? To help players understand. Now, when you start the game and you was playing the game, you get to a point where, you know, they kind of introduce you to crafting. So you like go through a little tutorial, you pop out, I don't want to spoil anything, but you pop out of a, you know, a spot and you start the beginning of the game and it starts to guide you. It guides you to a town, and once you get to that town, you get a quest that, like, the girl's like, hey, you need to upgrade your weapons, and she just gives you the materials to make a new weapon of your choice. I believe they should not give you those materials and introduce crafting and gathering to the player, right? So, like, have you go out and mine some iron, mine some wood, and you can learn how to process the materials. Now, this stuff for me, since I played New World, was natural to me. I already understood the system as soon as I got into the game. But I'm not every player is not like me. So I can see how players could be very confused by the gathering or the crafting and how this stuff works. So I would like to see them use the beam of light more for whatever priority quest is number 1 to help players know where to go to get their quest done. I think that would be a good thing, right? And also try to, you know, make it a little bit more friendly when it comes to learning some of the systems about gathering and crafting and processing, stuff like that. I feel like that was a little weird, right? That's just me. Now, you see all these menus here that we're looking at right now. This menu system, it reminds me 100% of New World. It has tiers to it. The layout is kind of the same. It's very similar. And I'm not saying that's bad, but it's like they just looked at New World and was like, we're going to make our game like that game. And like they just took everything from it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I personally enjoyed the test for what it was, even with its glaring problems. I enjoy what I got to experience out of it. Okay, so what's next? UI. I feel like with the controller, at least when you go into the equipment menu, that can use like UI optimizations, right? And, you know, just better feel with the controller for UI. I can't speak with them because you could just grab your mouse and click on whatever you want. But with controller, it seemed a little finicky inside that character, inside your inventory menu. It seemed a little clunky, a little weird. Start off in a weird spot in there, like you start out on your weapons. It was very weird. So I would like to see that get some work for sure. Now, audio design. I feel like the audio design definitely needs to be improved, and I also feel like you getting loot or gathering items needs to be jiggy. It needs to trigger that dopamine hit in my brain, bro. So you need to like find a sound that's better, that triggers that hit when you get an item or open a crate or you pick up any type of loot. Also, as you see, we're gathering here, and when you gather, it doesn't tell you how much XP you get when you gather for that profession. Like, this is harvesting, but I don't know how much harvesting XP I'm getting from that. Okay, so they need something to pop up with the item that you get that's telling you got 32 harvesting experience, and fill up a little bar and show you how close you are to your next level and progression right there on the screen while you're gathering and doing stuff. Now, right now, I'm just out here showing off the gathering system, how similar it is to New World. Now, the one thing it's different from New World, at least in this version of the playtest, which I think is a plus, it is a good thing. So they have a gathering system. They have mining. They have lumbering. They have butchering, or you know, like a leather gathering leather. I think they call it butchering. They have fishing, they have harvesting, and they have something else. I might be forgetting one, but anyway. Now I lost my train of thought. I'm freestyling. Like I said, I freestyle. So so they have all these different things, but here we go. So if I was comparing this to New World, because this is very similar to New World, I can't compare it to other games. So in New World, they have a tier system. So say, for example, you have a flint pickaxe. That is considered like tier 0, right? It's the basic thing. You can use it to get certain limited materials. So maybe with the flint, you could get stone, right? And then tier 1 of the pickaxe is a stone pickaxe. The stone pickaxe will allow you to gather lower resources, T1, you know, like tier 2 and below. So iron might be tier 2 in New World. So in order for you to harvest that iron, you need to have a stone pickaxe or greater, right? So, and you can go, and once you have the stone pickaxe, you can harvest iron, and then once you get the iron that you need, you can make the next tier pickaxe, which will be tier 2. This game doesn't have that system. As long as you have the tool, regardless of what tier that tool is, you can still gather a resource. The tier, at least from what I gather, you know, I didn't do too much research, but it seems to be this way, is say you got the basic pickaxe, flint pickaxe. You can hit any resource. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be stone, it could be iron, it could be oil, it could be like titanite, it could be meteorite, it could be ice crystals, fire crystals, whatever resource you come across that requires a pickaxe, you can gather it. How long it takes for you to gather said resource is where the tiers of pickaxes or tools seem to come in, at least from my understanding of it. Now, one thing about the gathering in this game compared to New World is that you do not get like large abundance of resources when you gather. Like in New World, you hit a rock, you'll get 50 stone. In this game, you hit an iron node, you're lucky if you get 5, right? So the values of materials that you get for gathering are way lower, which means because they have some kind of trade system going on, some kind of like market or auction house or whatever you want to call it, your items will have way more value because you have to put in work to gather the things you need. Now you see my character, I'm out here gathering herbs. I need the herbs to make potions. So, and I'm just out here trying to gather a large amount of herbs because I was playing the night before. I used a bunch of potions. I got like 3 potions left. So I was like, I'm gonna run around, gather some herbs, just hit resources. In this video, there was certain things that I wanted to do in this video to show off the game, and gathering was one of the first things. I was like, I just want to go around and gather, but I also needed herbs so I can make some potions, which will come in handy later on. So, like I said, they need some kind of audio. They need better audio, and they need some jiggy dopamine trigger sound for getting loot, gathering herbs, and also add some XP numbers to the screen so I know how much XP I'm getting towards my harvesting skill as I'm doing right now. Alright, so that was another one, right? So another thing is this game is supposed to be coming out on console. Crossplay is a absolute must. I don't care what version these devs are on. If they do not have crossplay for this game, that is gonna hurt the game. PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch 2, mobile, whatever they're going to do with this game, when it comes to where they're going to put this game, it needs to be one whole. The community needs to be whole, 100%. Cross play across the board. Cross progression too, if they can do it. But cross play, absolutely necessary. Now, I also heard that they're also supposed to be doing more tests for said game. They need to have tests for console. They need to test the console. Do not, absolutely do not have more tests for this game exclusively to PC. You need to put this game on console and test it on console as well. If you plan to have if you had planned to have like 4 more tests for this game, 3 of those need to be on them consoles as well as PC. Do not skip out on testing the game on console and then you decide you want to put this game out with no console testing and then the game is absolutely garbage and broken to all hell on consoles. So that's another thing I would love to suggest. Another thing is, we're moving on. So you see, I'm crafting very similar to New World. I just made some reagents. Now I'm making a bunch of potions. It's very simplified compared to New World. You just come in here, boom, 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 boom. You make it, boom, 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 damn. You're not standing at the crafting station for 3 days trying to process materials or anything. It's very quick, very easy, and not a bad thing. I'm not mad at it at all. Right? So, camera lock. One of the things also in this game that bothered me the most, at least with controller, is camera lock. They have a camera lock, but if you're moving when you go to lock on, the camera like does a 360, flips around all crazy. They need to fix that ASAP. Just fix it ASAP, right? Now, that's most of the things that I felt that were bad about the game. Like, things that I think that just absolutely need to be fixed. Also, I'm also going to say this. I should have said it before I even went into anything. This game is, I don't care what version the dev build is on. This game is not ready to release. Do not release this game in this state or the next state ahead of this or 3 states ahead of this. This game needs to cook more, way more. Okay, so I'm not a dev, so I don't know how far along they is, but this game probably shouldn't release this year at all. At all. It should not come out this year. It should not. That's what I have to say about it. I don't think the game is like complete garbage. Like, I've seen a lot of videos of people just like, don't play this, the game's trash, blah, 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 blah. And their first impressions are everything, you know what I'm saying? But this is a play test. I'm glad I got to play it because I'm actually interested. I think the potential for the game is super high, all right? What do I think that's good about the game? Well, I like the art direction. I like the art design. I like the combat. I feel, now if I was to compare this combat to the other game that this game seems to be taking everything from, is New World. New World had multiple tests, and I played a lot of them tests. Combat in New World was fun in the early testing phases, where the game had hit stagger and stuff like that. But when they launched the game, they took hit stagger out, and it ruined the whole experience for combat for me, because the stamina system that they had in the game was absolute garbage. You can say what you want about it, and maybe it's changed. I don't know if they changed it in their re-release of the game, because I really haven't touched New World since they had a beta for that, and I don't remember. I know they re-released and put the game on consoles, but I don't remember if they added, I'm pretty sure they added hit stagger back, but the stamina system in New World, before they added hit stagger back, was bad, all right? Because the mobs, the monsters, didn't abide by the same rules as you. Half the time, if you got in a fight with more than like 2 or 3 monsters, you were screwed, because you had limited dodging capabilities, right? You could only dodge a maximum of like 3 to 4 times depending on the armor class that you were wearing. And these monsters are hyper aggressive. They just attack. They just don't stop. And you dodge one attack, they're already in the animation for another. You dodge that one, then you dodge another one, and you're out of stamina, and then you're fucked. So that was New World's combat. It was like they balanced their combat around PvP instead of PvE. That's the way I'm gonna take it. Okay, so right here in this little scene, my boy, he's helping me distract this dragon so I can steal a dragon egg, right? And it's kind of like Monster Hunter a little bit, but you can't just steal. Once you pick up the egg, the dragon will aggro you. But you need to take this egg. It was for a quest. I needed help. I needed a distraction. I tried to solo this dragon. I got it like maybe like 20% down in its health bar before it caught me in a breath attack and killed me. I tried like 3 or 4 times to solo him. And while I was doing that, of course, people ran up there and got eggs, and I never got to complete the quest. My boy Pope, who I hooked up with in this video, helped me get the quest done. So that's it. You know what I mean? So another thing, like, you know, they got some interesting things. Like this is straight out of Monster Hunter for me. I don't think New World had a quest anything like this. So I think the combat, if it can get some work like on the hitboxes and hit detection and maybe some more iframe adjustments and stuff like that, the combat is already better than New World to me. That's my opinion. It's just better. The stamina system is better. The mobs don't hyperly aggressively attack you. They actually give you a little bit of time to recover stamina so you can dodge their attacks and play around them. Now, I played a ranged melee class. I played more of a ranged class than a melee. I played the Ranger. Ranger started with 3 weapons: bow, crossbows, dual crossbows, and rapier. I personally didn't like the bow. So as soon as I got access to crossbows, I went crossbow rapier mostly. I didn't really touch the bow again after I got crossbows. But you know, you can master all 3 of them weapons. You can they have a selection of skills you can pick and invest points into to make your build. Another thing that I do like is they're not using a stat allocation system like New World did. This game, you level up, your stats go up, and that's it. You have no control over that. Your build comes from what skills you pick, what passives you choose to pick up. That's how you make your build in this game. What 2 weapons do you choose to use, or switching weapons out depending on the situation they are needed. I think that is a good thing, right? So to me, the combat with some you know, some hitbox improvement, some hit detection, some better audio, and some better movement, this combat shoots way above New World to me. Just I'm being 100% honest. Like I said, what I got to play, I actually liked. Yes, there were problems, absolutely, definitely some problems. So that's one of the things I thought was good. Crafting, fine. Gathering, fine. Does it need work? Yes. Does the game need optimized? The lighting system is absolutely horrible, but it is what it is, right? It's a playtest. I'm not, and they always say, oh, well, the version we're on, I don't give a shit. This game should not release in 2025. They need to cook. They need to optimize. They need to fix the lighting. They need to make sure the combat is, you know, high quality. Now, I'm gonna skip ahead in this video because I'm hooking up with my boy. We're getting ready. We're gonna go kill some monsters. Well, first we were looking for a quest that was bugged out. So I'm over here. I'm messing with this scorpion. I tried to solo it, but I'm gonna get away from that. I'm gonna skip through a little bit because I did do a lot of standing around. I was AFK. My boy sent me an invite. I was in here. We was trying to get some dude to spawn that we needed for a quest, but I think the quest was bugged, or it's on some kind of timer. I don't really remember what was going on, but I know, like, we were discussing it. It was like, oh, this quest must be broke. There was lots of people here trying to camp the thing that we needed to kill to complete the quest. I never got to complete the quest, but it didn't matter. So let's scroll back a little bit. Okay, so I don't know where this started. So I left. Okay, so I'm running up. My boy is like, oh yeah, I'm over here fighting this, I'm about to fight this golem. So I go over here. I want to show y'all a little bit of the you know, like I don't know whether to call them world bosses or mini bosses or whatever, but there are some mobs out in the world that, you know, you can team up with other players. Like, you don't need to be in a party. I guess you would call it a world boss, or you can just go fight a boss and you get a little bit of loot and stuff like that. Every one of these little boss fights, they're not that hard, but they're fun. They were fun because the combat is actually okay and can only get better from this point forward in my eyes. Alright? So my boy is like, hey, I'm fighting it. I was like, oh, there's a booty box. So this little statue thing you see right here is like a jump puzzle where you pull a lever, you climb up to the top, you open a treasure chest. There was an issue with the treasure chests that you had to, like, it was single file line type of stuff. Like, you go open the treasure chest and you have to wait for it to, like, respawn before the next person can, open it. I don't know if that was like a bug or something, but they need to fix that. Let people just open the treasure chest when they get up there instead of have to wait in a single file line to open it. Right? I think it's special. So here we go. We're fighting this golem. Me and my boy. We're just duoing him. I think he was the sword master. I think. So he's playing like sword and board and dual blades. And I'm on Ranger, as I said. I spec more into a poison build, so all my skills except for one is all about putting dots on the target, and I had a blast playing like this. Even though, and you gotta realize, like, this is an aim class and I'm playing with controller. Like, yes, you can lock on, but you see the green reticle in the screen. Green reticle means I'm in range to hit the target. If you don't see it, you won't be able to hit the target. Now, you can use a skill and still hit the target if you're not in range, but your regular normal attack will not hit the target. So you kind of want to be in range most of the time where you see that green reticle, so you can hit and keep your damage going. So I'm just putting poisons on them and dodging around and just having a good old time. We're just duoing this, like, rock boss, alright? Golem, rock of Blight Ezo. Now, to my knowledge, the bar under so the big red bar is the health. The bar underneath is like a stagger bar, I think, but I don't know if that stagger bar needs to fill up for him to get staggered or go all the way down to get staggered. I really didn't grasp the stagger system, and I really didn't pay attention to it very much throughout the game. So maybe I need to do a little bit more research on what these things are. But yeah, I want to show off some of the stuff we did. Like, so this video might be a little bit longer because we did duo a dungeon, right? And he said he liked the game as well. He definitely said it need work, you know. But as he said, this is my homie that he plays most games with keyboard and mouse, that he even reverted to controller for this game because he said it felt, because keyboard and mouse felt like trash. So, you know, it is what it is. So we're just lighting them up, and it's not like too crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? We're just fighting a boss. You know, it ain't got crazy mechanics or anything like that. But there are mechanics in the game because we duoed a dungeon that actually had mechanics. The last boss actually had some mechanics and stuff. Now you see I got the lock on his leg, right? I don't know why. Like, I guess you can switch legs. I don't know if you can, like, break their legs. I don't know, because the game needs better explanation. It needs to explain itself a little bit better when it comes to these type of things, right? But as far as I can tell right here, this combat is way better than New World's combat to me, and that is a plus. Yes, there are some moments where there's mobs, but, like, there's mobs that are stagnant in the world, like they just walk back and forth, they're not doing nothing interesting. But I also see mobs engage in combat with other monsters a lot. in the game, where I seen humans fighting undead. I've seen undead enemies aggro a world boss spider in the early game and start going, even though the world boss spider kind of messed them up, they was still banging each other, right? They were still fighting and you know, interacting with each other. So it seems like certain mobs will attack other mobs, especially undead will basically aggro other humans, aggro other monsters, and they have some kind of interaction. Now, how is the AI like amazing? No. Is it like super duper smart or something like that? Not really. You know, basic AI. You hit monsters, see you, they trigger attack and come get you. You dodge, shoot, pew pew, smack with sword, and you know, kill monster, get a little bit of XP. Sometimes they drop an item, sometimes they don't. So we're just mining this ore because this golem is part, it is kind of part of a quest where you need to get this special ore for a quest, which we already got. And there's multiple ways to get it. You can go into a solo dungeon and get this ore. You can kill this golem and get this ore. And the other part is you needed another material from that big dome I was in before, but that monster or whatever was supposed to happen in there wasn't happening. So you see how he opened the box, right? He opened it. Now I can't open it, right? They need to fix that. So now you see there's another person here. I'm waiting for the box to close up so I can open it next because I was in line before they were, right? So boop, I open the box. I get a little bit of loot and I move on. That person will wait for the box to respawn. Yeah, they need to fix that. It shouldn't be that way. You should just be able to go up there and open the damn box and get your loot. Shouldn't be like first come first serve, you're in line, form a single file line. There was also, look, and that world boss, he already respawned. So now we're walking down, we're going somewhere else. I don't know where we're going to see if this other boss is being fought, and I think we try to fight him, but he like, you definitely need more people for this other boss. So we're like gonna run over there and check it out. But outside of that, like all the problems that I named, you know, about the lighting being optimized, the character movement and inertia, hitboxes, better explanation for quests, mechanics in the game, UI optimizations. I also want a UI, at least for the dialogue in the game, like, because there's a lot of reading. And these quests kind of tell you what to do, but the dialogue is so goddamn tiny. I need to be able to increase that. Me personally, I'm blind, bro. I wear glasses already. I need to make that bigger. And I also do a lot of streaming when I play, so I like to make it bigger so other people can read it when they're on stream as well if they wanted to. But I also need to be able to see the dialogue to read it, because there was a lot of quest dialogue that you need to read, and they would literally tell you stuff about the quest that was important, but that dialogue is so small that I was like, bro, I don't want to read to have to like dig my face into the monitor to have to read it. So this is the other boss. Now I did kill this boss the night prior with a bunch of people, right, that were out here fighting it. But we get deleted real quick, and that's basically it, right? So we'll go in it. We'll go in and we'll show this a little bit. But I definitely want to let the dungeon run play out for y'all, because the dungeon run was kind of cool. I think the dungeon run, what I experienced in the dungeon, and now I went into the dungeon the night before by myself. I figured out like you can make a party, and you can make your party private, and you can be the leader, and you can access content that you need parties for. I don't know if it's intended that way, but you can do this. So like we was like, all right, let's go ahead. Now I ended up killing this boss, but this boss is not, you know, this boss was not to be trifled with, and we probably shouldn't have tried to duo it, but we did. You see, he just smacked the shit out of me with the tail, so half my health, right? So this is what I mean, right? Like I dodged that attack. I had time to recover my stamina and all that. I slid and I got out of that attack, and he wasn't winding up his next attack yet. You know, so well, he already bodied me, right? I'm dead. So it is what it is, right? And he just killed my boy too, so we both died. Right. It wasn't something that was so we had to do a little bit of prep work here. You know, oh yeah, we did this too. We went and fought another boss. So there was like this was like for a quest. And somehow I missed the first stages of this quest where there's these things that are the red lights, right? You go to them, you kill a bunch of dudes, and stops the part of the ritual. And then once you destroy all of them, it spawns a little mini boss in the middle. So I didn't know that that you needed to kill these dudes to spawn the boss, but I was in the middle and had the quest and the boss popped, but I didn't know people ran around and actually did this part of the quest to trigger the boss. So I just triggered the boss, and the boss was just triggered and I killed it and moved on with my life. But I didn't know there was a extra part to this quest, right? Because the game doesn't explain itself very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fast forward just a little bit until the boss spawns and we'll show the boss fight. Is it over already? Okay, so this was like the last thing, the last part of the ritual or some shit. I'm out here with the rapier. Oh shit, I'm about to die. So you see what I mean? Like, I had way more than enough time to dodge that attack and not have to worry. I'm fighting two mobs at once and it didn't feel bad, right? Like in New World, you're fighting two mobs, they're both hyper aggressively just trying to kill you and they just don't stop. So there's the boss, his name is Morg. Me and my boy Pope. I think some other people come too because they needed it for the quest or whatever. Well, me and my boy Pope, we gonna go ahead and take this boss out. So they're engaging over there. Yeah, no, I can't tell. Yeah, there's a couple other people. I see a berserker out here doing this God of War thing. Like, it seems like, you know, the combat, the class system is pretty good, right? At least to me. I like the fact that I don't have to worry about messing up a build with stats, you know. They seem to let you freely respec your points and stuff. Now, I don't know if that's going to be like that when the game releases, but you could take your points out, change up your skills, what skills you're using, what passives you have at will, at no cost. It didn't cost money or nothing as far as I could tell. And you don't have to worry about stats messing up your build. The thing is this game gonna have some kind of system in place? Because once you pick a class, you're locked in. You don't have the freedom like in New World to, you know, change your weapon and change your class. So once you pick a class, you're locked in. You pick Ranger, you're locked in to bow, double crossbows, and rapier. Those are your three weapons, and you can choose two of them to use to switch between. So like there's weapon swapping, it's pretty seamless, doesn't feel bad. I really enjoyed the weapon swapping mechanic. The combat in general was pretty fun outside of it being not as polished as I think it could be, right? Now, how Melee feels, I don't know. I didn't really play Melee all that often. Every once in a while, I would switch to Rapier and jump in there and hit some stuff, but I was mostly dual crossbow and pop, 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 you know. With the poisons, you see I switched to Rapier right there. I hit the wrong button and did a parry skill that I had because I kept doing that because I just wasn't used to it. It is what it is. We bodied him. All right. You see what I'm saying? Like, he swung at me, I dodged. He didn't like immediately go into a next attack. I was able to reposition myself and body. Oh yeah, I got a new body piece. So I don't know how Melee would feel. Now, how they're going to do like your account, like will your crafting, gathering progressions be account bound, or will they be per character? Because say, you know, you want to try a different class type, you have to make another character, you have to level that character up. So is, you know, your progression account bound for your gathering crafting? Is it not? Are they going to have some kind of system like that, or will you have to have the old grind session on a brand new character every time you want to try something different. That's something that should be looked at. If they don't have no system in place for that, I can see how that could be a turnoff to some people. Me personally, I don't mind grinding in games if the grind is fun. That's just me. So I got a new chess piece. I went ahead and threw it on. I was like, let's check it out. I want to see what it looks like. I'm very curious, you know, what the gear was looking like. And I didn't really have an issue with how things looked. They need a head off option, right? They also need that. That's something that's usually standard in games where you don't want to display your helmet, right? You want to show off your hair or whatever, you know, your character's face and all that. That's something they need to add to the game. There's another thing that I'm like 50-50 on. So, this game, like I said, the character creator is way better than New World's character creator. But this character creator is free. So, you can do some things in this character creator that will basically ruin the immersion of the game for other people, right? So I'm 50-50 on it. Like, yes, I think the character creator is okay, right? It has, but like, you can make a decent looking character, but you can also make an abomination that everyone else can see. And in this world, you're like running around and you see this abomination. His legs are as thin as this grass. His arms are so bulky. It looks like he has built-in shoulder pads on his shoulder. He got the box from one of the, he has titties, right? So he has breasts because his character's a female, but he has a giant goatee, right, that's orange, and then his hair is pink, and then his skin is green, right? It's very, very jarring to see. So like, I'm 50-50 on this. It's like, I like the freedom to let the player create whatever they want in the game, but at the same time, my immersion of the game, when I'm playing a game, seeing some absolutely horrendous looking character run past is kind of jarring. So I'm 50-50. I'm like, you know, I like the freedom, but I also like immersion, right? So it's like, do they change it? I personally don't care if they change it or not, but I can see how other people might not like it, right? It's just how it is. So I'm going to skip through a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and look at some of the graphics here. You know, me and my boy are going, this is the dungeon entrance. He's like, oh, I got to go get some potions. I'm low on potions. I said, okay, cool. I'll run back to town and do a couple things. So I run back to town. I like go do some crafting. I make some food items. I head back. I made a couple potions. Like I said, it's crafting almost like New World. So I come back here. I noticed I was close to level. I went down there and killed some stuff. Now I'm just waiting for my boy to come and we're gonna go in this dungeon. So we're standing here, we're just bullshitting, and I'm like, come on, dog, let's just go in. And he's like, all right. And we go in. Boom. So we go in. I want to show us going into the dungeon. I don't know if it pulls me when he triggers it. I think it does. I'm like, I'm talking about his piss yellow pants right here, like, because we're in Discord bullshitting. I'm not recording any of the voice. I'm just recording the gameplay. I'm talking about his piss yellow pants. I'm like, dang, dog, you got some piss yellow pants on. He's like, yeah, that's what I said when I seen him, man. You know, we're just going back and forth talking. I'm like, let's go in, dude. Let's do it. So this is a little bit longer of a video, but I wanted to show off some of the gameplay and stuff of the last few hours of my last play session, and I wanted to show the dungeon. That's something I wanted to do. Like I said, like, I'm playing in high. I feel like if the game was more optimized I could play on a higher graphics setting and it would look better, but they need to fix that lighting. They need to optimize the game. They need to test this game on console if they plan on putting it out. They need to have crossplay. They need to cook this game longer. It's not ready to release. I don't care if they have like four more tests. This game probably should not release in 2025. If so, maybe it'll be ready to release next year, but who knows? All I know is they say, oh, our development build is way ahead of this, and this is an older build. A lot of the things you're talking about have been fixed and all this stuff, but we're not playing that. We're playing this. So I need to play those builds, and I'll make another video if I do get to test any more of this game. But for right now, my impressions of the game were more in the middle. I'm not saying the game is trash and I'll never play it. I need to see some more progression. I need to see the updated builds that they talk about. We need to see them. The game needs to be tested properly, and this game should not rush to release or it will fail. You don't want to fail. You want to be successful. So, you know, you should listen to the people out there that are saying this game is bad, because I mean, some people think the game is really that bad, but I see early stages of a playtest of a game that has incredibly high potential. That's me. So let's go into the dungeon. All right, let's go. I want to see the entrance of us going in. And like, it skips so far. There we go. So he queued it up. Boom, we're going in. Let's go. So we're going in. And so I came in this dungeon the night before, and I killed this stuff right here. And after you kill this stuff, you get to the first mini boss, or, you know, the dungeon boss, right? And I couldn't kill him by myself. Now, I was also maybe only level 14 or 15 when I tried it. I'm like 2 levels higher now. And it says his level is 14, but he's actually 15. So we out. So these mobs are a little bit more harder, a little bit tankier, and we're just doing what we gotta do. So like I said, I'm playing a dot build. Screen shake. The screen shake is awful too. Another thing I should point out about that, like that one skill with the root, it's like when it ticks on things, the screen shakes incredibly crazy, and you couldn't change the screen shake at all in the game as far as I could tell. So yeah, that's another thing. We need sliders for more things. I need to be able to increase the dialogue box text so I can actually read it and not have to struggle. You know, like they had like things for the UI, and I changed the UI multiple times, but I never seen a difference in any of the sizes. Like, it didn't change at all. It's like it was there. You could select like, hey, I want to have 16 by 9 or 32 by 9 or whatever it was, and it didn't change a damn thing. So I think like the dungeons and like I feel I had more fun. I had more fun in this dungeon than I had in any New World dungeon. Right? New World had dungeons, but I had more fun in this one dungeon with my homie than I had in any of the dungeons I did with him and some of my other friends that played New World. I had more fun in this dungeon. Right, in this playtest than I had in my total dungeon runs in New World, which I've done plenty in my day, right? Now these bombs, right? I threw the bomb and it did nothing. Now there was a people were taking these bombs because there are some spots out in the world where you can go and get these bombs. They were taking these bombs, picking them up, carrying them back to town, and then blowing people up with them. And it would literally one-shot crowds of people. So They need to fix that too. I don't want people griefing me with these bombs in the real game because they decided they wanted to pick it up. And this game is not a PvP game. There is like duels and stuff, but there's no PvP per se, like open world or anything like that. So them having this like this thing where they could just, you could just pick up a bomb and carry it all the way into town, and then there's like 10, 15, 25 people standing at a workbench like AFK or crafting or whatever, and you just throw the bomb and kill them all. So this is the first boss. This is the boss I fought the night before. I could not kill him by myself with like just dives. I almost did like 2 or 3 times. I got pretty close, but I couldn't like pull it off. He would just kept catching me. But me and my homie, we pulled it off, no problem. We do a duo Damas easily. Now, like I said, this is as far as I got in the dungeon. My boy said he went in earlier today, the day we was doing this, with like some other party members, like people just randoms. He said he went in with, and they got to the final boss, but they couldn't kill it. So he knew everything about the dungeon. So I was like, I got to this boss, and then like I tried to kill him, but I couldn't. He was like, all right, cool. I know the layout. I know all the little tricks and mechanics of the dungeon. Definitely wanted to just pull it out here and let it run. So I'm gonna let this run, and I will talk when it's necessary. Just let y'all watch the gameplay of us duo and the boss, and when I see something interesting that comes up, I'll say something. Yes, there is headshot damage. As you see, I just shot the boss in the head. So yes, there is, like, you know, skill shots or skill aiming to hit things in the head. That's something you like to do when you play a range class that has some kind of shooty weapon. There we go, bingo, first boss down. Cool. Did it. And I got some loot. Yeah, I got some new boots. Yeah. So we're bullshitting. He's telling me about the next upcoming section of the dungeon. And I was like, hold on. Let me eat some food and stuff. Because I forgot to before we started fighting the boss. But he's just going over some of the things. Telling me about the next section of the dungeon. Which I understood. Like, I understand now, but I didn't understand when he was telling me. He's like, oh, there's these things that shoot AoE at you. You need to go press a lever. So these statues are shooting AoE cone, like, what I would call it is make it rain bow shots down on you. So you need to hit these levers to turn them off. And there's also some mobs running around in here too. So he's like, yeah, they like, and I was like, oh, they just shoot in certain spots, but no, they actually try to aim on you. So I was like, oh, you want to fight these mobs? He's like, wait, we still got another thing. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I'll fight them. And then I pull them like, oh shit, now I'm getting rained on. So he goes and handles the switch, and I just kite these dudes back around and throw some poisons on them and get hit with make it rain bow shots. That's all. I was pressing wrong buttons. Like, that screen shake is so bad. And to be fair, we do die a couple times, but yeah. So right there, I got a blueprint for a Cloak of Agility. I never got to make the Cloak of Agility or even use the blueprint, but cool to get. So there are like blueprints and things that you get that give you new things to craft for armor and weapons and stuff like that. Like I said, the lighting in the game, it's just, it ruins the game. It ruins the look of the game. So I hope they can get that fixed. Would make the game look a lot better. And I was like, oh, there's some mobs over here. He was like, yeah, we'll get to them in a sec. There's still some stuff back here. So I had got a purple necklace, but the one necklace that I already had was actually better, and I didn't want to give up health and dex for int, even though it seems like int could be one of the stats I would use a little bit of. Now, I know y'all see me doing like these flips and jump spin attacks. That is a special skill that consumes stamina and acts as a dodge as well. Even though I use it, but considering like some of the, like I said, some of the movement is a little finicky and needs some work. I didn't utilize it as much as I probably should when I was playing because of the movement and stuff. But definitely a cool thing. That is part of the Rangers kit where they, I think it might be no, I think it's Ranger in general. Like you can do that. No, it's crossbow, I think. It has a name. It's like a special skill that you can use. It consumes stamina. But I think depending on what weapon you're using changes it. So if you're using a rapier, you do like this poke. But if you're using crossbows, you do this like flip dash, and I forget what the bow does, so can't answer that. So my boy Pope was using his summon. Like the unique mechanic of the game that's not something from New World is the Chronos mechanics, which allows you to freeze time, summon these creatures that you have to beat in order to get, so like a creature capture kind of aspect. There's one that lets you freeze time. There's one that lets you see some special things. And there was another one, and I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that was his summon, and I kind of forgot I even had that thing. So I took an L. I got bodied by that mage. So he was like, hey, this is kind of like that mechanic we did over there to summon the boss in that village with the red pillars. He was like, we kind of have to do something similar here. I was like, all right. And then I ended up taking an L. So. So as far as I remember, I think we opened a shortcut. So there's like a shortcut we opened up. So there are some shortcuts and things in the dungeon, you know, help you get back to where you are faster if you die. Now, yes, there is a revive mechanic, but if you're down and you get hit with an attack, it basically kills you. So, you know, there was no way he would be able to revive me without pulling the mobs on top of me and getting me hit. So respawning was the only option that we really had in this situation because it was just me and him. And now that I think about it, now that I actually think about it, I had an item that was giving me 10% more threat, so it might have been an issue because I don't know if he had any skills that like made him get aggro or anything like that. I don't know because I didn't play any other classes and I didn't really ask him too many questions about his class, you know, and what he was playing. So I don't know if he had actual tanking abilities or anything like that, like things to make him get more hate. But I do remember I had some kind of item that gave me 10% more threat, so I was pulling aggro a lot. So, and that was my own fault. I should have, you know, if it really mattered in a situation, I probably wouldn't wear that. And then, like, I seen him throw that bomb, and I was like, that shit ain't kill anything. Like, what happened, right? It's like, did it do anything? So, so he was telling me, like, this section right here, you gotta watch out, because these dudes will keep coming out of these bodies, these piles of dead bodies. They'll keep respawning, so you gotta watch. Damn it, there they go. They popped up out, and I start killing them. I'm like, oh, shit. They're very squishy compared to their normal dungeon monsters, but they do respawn. So we're in this hallway and we gotta fight these dudes, and I see there's a mage back there. Then we had to spawn behind us, so we got a bunch of the little trashy mobs. So like I said, like the screen shake is very annoying, so being able to have a slider to turn that off or turn that down. And I'm like, oh shit, this damn mage. We need to kill this mage, bro. I think I take another L here too. I hit me with the fucking stun. I was a bitch. Oh, loot. It's like, I was like, oh, I'm going up here to get this item. He's like, yeah, chill out a little bit. Let me get my health up. Okay. So when you die, you lose your food buffs. So I was just reapplying some, and I was doing a lot of this from the menu because I didn't want to have to change my quick hot bar every time I wanted to eat something. So I would just go into the menu and use an item from the menu. That's how I handled it. That I got clapped up again. Like, you see how my character is running and shit? I also would like to say that the stamina, like when you're not in combat, shouldn't drain when you're sprinting. They should probably add something to fix that. Like, I understand if you're in combat, your shit'll drain, but if you're not in combat and you haven't engaged, you shouldn't lose any stamina. That's just... I think I die again, too. Like, shortly right here in this same section. because there's like a mini boss or a named monster that spawns after we kill this section of dudes, I think, if I remember correctly. And he ends up like one-shotting me or some shit. This goddamn mage, dog. Tanky as shit. What? Player hall. I was like, the player's ball has been revealed. What are you talking about? What did it say? That guy, number 1,000 or 10,009? Yeah, him. Yeah, he definitely kills me, like very easily too. Because I think he kills Pope here, and then like I walk over, like I tried to do a flip, and like I said, like that flip. Sometimes it's really good and works out very well, but other times you run into objects and stuff. So I was like trying to use it. Look, bam, just clap me up. Boop, boop. Yeah, when I switched to rapier. I switched to rapier and got my cheeks clapped. I think we pull him and kill him. I think we killed him already. Yeah. We go ahead and kill him, and then we get some more loot. And then I think we head into the final boss. If I remember correctly. Also, like, the thing is like you can lock on, but if you lock on, you can't really free aim and get headshots. Also, the lock on for the camera is so wonky, right? Like, it's very hard to use. So I'm getting ready to die again here because we're getting ready to go into the boss. We just opened that chest and we got some shit called Deadly Delight. So I like open my inventory and I read the description. I was like, oh, I already got that. And then I was like, I keep seeing this loot here, but I can't pick it up. So you like interact with it, but you get nothing. I end up turning the fire off, and I read the description of the thing we just got, the Deadly Delight or some shit. Well, I got some blue panties. So I was like, oh, I got blue panties. So I put them on because it gives me more damage over time, and I don't need PvP guard reduction because what? PvP? Get that out of here. So I was using this Scarlet Ring. As you see, I have a Titania's Ring, which is that big wolf dog. I killed him like the night before and got a really good rapier and that ring from him. But the other ring, the purple one, it removes your health regen, so you don't have a health regen anymore. And I read it. I was like, delicious lemonade, cryptic from Burlick's secret recipe, is said to have a killer taste, though no one has lived to describe it. So I was like, huh. I was like, and my curiosity got the best of me. I think I closed the menu, I think, and then I was like, nah. And I opened it back up, and I was like, before we go in here, I want to know if you really die if you drink this. And you'll see. I say to him, like, well, I'm probably going to take another L, because my curiosity got the better of me. I was like, wait, let me do this first. So I drink it, and you just fucking die, dude. And he's dying. He's like cracking up. I was like, okay, so you really do die. It's not like a trick where it gives you some crazy good buff. No, it doesn't do that. It really fucking kills you. It's like, all right, cool. I had to know because of my curiosity, bro. So it was like, oh fuck, I'm going the wrong way. I forgot to take the shortcut. Then I turn around, I'm like, wait, ain't the shortcut right here? And I'm so fucking disoriented because we're like laughing because I drank the fucking lemonade. I was like, I didn't want to. I was too curious. I was like, bro, like, I need to know if you really die from that shit. Like, I need to know. It is what it is, you know? I was like, and I don't want to waste food items, then drink it, and then lose my buffs. So I might as well do it before we start this to see if you really die or not. So I go ahead and buff up. We go in, we fight the boss. He's like, oh, you get this note right here? I'm like, no, I get the note. Now he's telling me about the mechanics of the fight. Because this boss actually does have a mechanic to some degree. Right? Like, is this your first dungeon? I don't know, but it is a dungeon. I had a lot of fun duoing it with my homie. So... and I was like, man, I had more fun in this dungeon duoing with you than I did at any of the dungeons we did in New World. So. It's like. Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and end here in a second. I don't know if he went AFK or I went AFK or something. We're doing something, but he also told me about the mechanics for the boss. Oh yeah, I forgot there was like a cutscene. I was very shocked when we got to the boss and there was like a cutscene. Come on, man. Also, that crouch crawl animation needs some work. It needs some work, dog. It looks bad. It 100% just looks bad. So he said he was in a party with like 3 or 4 other people and they could not kill this dude. So we're here. And I'm like, let's get it, bro. So me personally, I don't know anything about the boss other than the mechanics. So how he moves, how he swings, what he does in the fight. Okay, so this is the mechanic that you have to do. So he does a spinneroonie and it pulls these tornadoes at you. And I was like, oh, they were both on me. He says it could be on random. I don't know if it's more than 2. Could it be 3 if there's more players? I don't know. But he was like, try to keep them out of the middle. So I was up there and that's where they are. He said the only way he figured out how to get him to go away is to stagger him. Now, this is not the first time I've seen these things, but on the boss's head is some kind of eyeball. Now, I don't know if that means like shoot him in the head, try to shoot him in the head, that's his weak spot, but we staggered him somehow. And that happens a couple times throughout the fight, so I messed up a lot of my combos. I kept pressing square without holding the right button down, so I would switch to rapier, go in to use the skill and press the wrong button and switch back to crossbow. So I did that. I made that mistake a couple times during the fight, trying to use my rapier to get some more damage in. Here they come, but they don't like try to get to you, but they just go towards you, so. Fuck, every time I try to use that attack, he keeps jumping. I'm trying to get him to walk into my vines here, because it will put some kind of poison on him and slow him down a little bit. And he's like, oh shit, I don't know what this is. Alright, so I back up. Still putting dots on him. I see he spawned a bunch of ads and shit, but my homie he deleted them all somehow. Now we got tornadoes everywhere. Staggered them, they went away. We're doing all right. A bunch of ads. Shit, almost died. Like, oh, I gotta heal. The screen is shaking like crazy, dude. Went ahead and used the big boy potion. Get my health back up before I die. Both got hit by the fucking tornado swing. What a waste of a heal, you know? Every time I go to use that, he jumps out of it. Shit out of me. So now I'm a little low on health. I think I used one of my little special little mushrooms because I was like, oh, the mushroom's got a 5-second cooldown. So I had like 100 in some of those, but I used a lot of them. trying to solo the very first boss the night before in this dungeon. So now, I was like, oh shit, I don't know what that is. He's like, neither do I. I'm like, alright. So I end up staggering him, I think. It's one of these points. And like unload on him, and knocked him out of that thing. So I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know what the yellow bar is. I don't know what the red bar is. I really don't get it. And then I was like, oh shit, summon. So I was like, I have a summon too. I was like, I have it, but he died. My summon died so quick. Or it's like he just comes out and drops a nuke and then leaves or something. I don't know. So I end up doing it again. So I end up knocking him down again when he was doing that charge thing. I used mine. He comes out. He drops some big nuke on the ground. And now he's gone. And it's like, I don't even think it did anything. Now that blue thing is something of his. Like, if he gets hit, it gives everybody in the party a shield. I just got the shit smacked out of me. Like, he staggered again. Trying to get those headshots because I thought it was something special. And I knocked him out of it again somehow. Like, fuck, missed him with it. And then Pope's like about to die, and I'm like, dude, don't die. So I'm like trying to get on him and get some aggro, and he end up healing, so it's all good. It's like he's almost dead. I run that, yeah, trying to keep him in my vine. He turns around and smacks the dog shit out of me and kills me. It's like, dude, kill him. Boom. My boy kills him. I'm like, man, can you come over here and get me before the timer runs out? But another thing is, they should probably fix that. If somebody starts reviving you, it should stop the timer. I still ended up taking a nail anyway. But we did clear the dungeon, right? I have to run back and get my loot. And that was the fucking dungeon, man. Like, we duoed it, and I had a blast doing it. Like I said, had a blast. Got a bow, I think. I was kind of mad because I got a bow. I was mad because I think I got 2 bows out of this dungeon. I was like, man, they could have gave me a crossbow. I don't want no damn bow. I want crossbows and rapiers. So I was a little mad that I got like 2 of the same bow from the dungeon. I was kind of mad. But outside of that, like I said, I think the game has very high potential if they can fix the glaring issues that the game had. I don't think it copying New World and being similar to New World is a bad thing. I don't want them to change the system they have in place for gathering. I like that tools affect how fast you gather. You have access to all resources, regardless of what tier tool you have. Right? It must have been some kind of bug where shinies weren't going away. And then I got a bow from the drop, and then I got another bow from the chest. And I was like, I was mad. But outside of that, I had a blast in the dungeon, bro. Blast. But if they can fix all the glaring issues like optimization, the lighting, you know, inertia, movement and inertia, the hitboxes for combat, tighten them up a little bit, make the iframes maybe a little more generous due to lag and ping and things of this nature, and some of the other things. I think this game has a chance to be great, but they have to work it. This game absolutely should not release in 2025 in no way, shape, or form. If this game does release in 2025, I don't care if they're 3 or 4 builds ahead, I think it will fail. You need to cook this game and cook it right. That is all I really have to say about my ChronoOdyssey playtest experience. I had a lot of fun. I think the potential's high, but the game still needs to cook. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Be out. Deuces.